Coming up today on This Is True Really News, security camera footage. No, not actually the footage, but me talking about the footage showing something. So that's the important thing to remember. I'll be saying something important and hilarious.
Well, not going to hang around just for that.
Please like, subscribe, and follow This Is True Really News because
I'm not sure either is possible, but hey.
We need the friends, frankly.
We do.
I mean, if you've ever watched a show, you know we're in desperate need of actual real friends.
Because right now, if our wives didn't pay each other, I wouldn't hang out with him. I mean, really, would you?
Look here, you.
Oh, don't get all surprised that your wife pays me. Robin pays you. It works out.
I want a raise.
You should have one, really.
This is True, Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
You want to put that in the mouth next time?
I'm going to aim.
Why do so many guys wear beards today? Because they miss their mouth, okay?
I don't know what happened.
The old days, you had the soup strainer mustache. Now it's like the catch-all beard because
good grief,
we're getting older.
For the place. Do your darn story. This isn't about Scott's haberdashery today.
Isn't it? A venomous king cobra, which escaped from its home in a Swedish zoo 6 days ago, has been located inside the building. Hang on, son. You and back with the bald head and the liquid all over.
I nearly drowned. You're doing a lot of animal stories this week.
I told you I found a lot of critter stories.
Okay.
So that's okay with you. I can find other ones.
No. You're fine. If you found animal stories, you found animal stories.
I mean, you had that whole fart week, so
I did.
Which, by the way, was not as big as Shark Week. But
what I didn't tell you this, and I should have during mailbag last Saturday.
Oh no.
Or Saturday, but I can't remember when it was. In any case,
well, you work so many days. What do you expect?
I was talking to Ian about how much would be destroyed if the Hulk farted, and who could fart louder, the Hulk or Superman? And Ian came up with a real answer.
That's my boy.
The Hulk. He says it's about the physics, you idiot.
Yep.
The Hulk is huge.
Not to mention the range, the anger. The rage and anger alone.
And he said, the human blowhole was never intended to take the kind of pressure Superman's going to put on it. I said, but his is made of steel too. So we had a whole long discussion on but finally,
I just want to say welcome to my world. Do you know, there in one of the Marvel movies, there was actually a discussion like, okay, if it was in an elevator, if Thor's hammer was in an elevator, could the elevator go up? Would it be worthy? Could Hulk lift it? And there was a really telling scene where they asked if Captain America could lift it, and he thought for a moment, no, I probably couldn't. But you knew something was weird about his answer because he is worthy. And actually did later. But that's those are the kind of discussions we used to have every time I worked at the comic book shop.
Yeah, that figures.
So, just think Batman could lift it. No, he's not worthy.
No, he's not worthy.
Superman, the old Superman, was worthy.
Yes,
the one they're trying to build today, who's basically Superman, in red, white, and blue tights. No. Where was I now? Venomous king cobra escaped from its home in a Swedish zoo 6 days ago. Yes, I've found a lot of critter stories. Has been located inside the building where its terrarium is located, but as of yet hasn't been recaptured.
It's on the run?
Well, more like on the slither, but let's go here. The deadly snake escaped.
You're a professional.
Scary thought, isn't it? I used to get paid for this. The deadly snake.
Hey, we're up to over $60.
And that's overpaid at that. The deadly snake escaped on October 15th via a light fixture in the ceiling of its glass enclosure at the Skansen Aquarium. It's part of Stockholm's Djurgården Island. Thank you. Park guests who were inside the building were located. Where the snake is located, were evacuated. Well, this was a good plan because it's a king cobra. If it bites you, you die. The zoo later assessed that there was no real risk of employees or guests outside of the building, and the rest of the zoo did remain open. The park said it had located the reptile overnight. Okay, this is the night it escaped. That night, they found it in a confined space near its terrarium, and staff were now working to retrieve it. Because think about it, even though it's in a confined space, it's got 2 fangs and the cool hood and venom that'll kill you. The park said if the snake had actually gotten out of the building, it probably wouldn't have survived because of the cold climate. The snake's official name is, have you watched Robin Hood, the animated version from Disney?
No, I have not.
The snake's official name is Servas, which translates to Sir Hiss.
Oh, cute.
And it was oddly enough a snake. I think Terry Thomas did the voice of Sir Hiss, who was Prince John's cohort.
In the animated series.
In the animated version.
Yeah.
Robin Hood was a fox of all things.
Oh, that version. I remember seeing a bit.
Although my mother used to say that Robin Hood was a fox, but I didn't understand. She meant Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
Where was I now? Sir Hiss. Since its escape, he's been nicknamed now Houdini. Because the reptile had just moved into a new terrarium. King cobras, if you're wondering, can grow up to be 18 feet long. They mostly live in India, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. And the zoo is home to lots of weird creatures. They have over 200 exotic species of fish, corals, crocodiles, turtles, lizard, snakes, marmosets, golden lion tamarins, baboons,
nice.
Lemurs, spiders,
Hey!
parents.
Spiders' parents.
Some parents are very exotic. And my favorite, the ever-popular naked mole rats.
All those things.
Man, you're in Denmark. Get him a jacket. Come on.
Right?
Freezes butt off.
So,
why don't they have a tail? They froze it off.
yeah. Security camera footage shows a man walking into an e-cigarette shop in Aurora, Colorado, and attempting to take out what police later said was a replica handgun.
What a vile individual to go into an eVape shop. I mean, God.
However,
it's the second great Satan right behind, actually lighting up tobacco.
the handgun ends up flying over the counter. It had to get hung up in his clothing. And according
I think
to,
we've seen that in several old cowboy comedies.
Yep. According to the police's Facebook post, the BB gun with the orange tip removed fell onto the floor where the clerk grabs it. This is like Keystone robbers. Video captures the surprise on the suspect's face as the gun makes its way over the counter. The suspect attempts to climb over the counter before appearing to change his mind. And he runs back out the door, where he is seen losing his pants before going off screen.
If you wrote this scene into a movie, they'd say, that's too stupid. That's got to go.
Yeah, that won't happen. But I have not added a thing to this. How's that? I lost the gun. I'm going to run. Oh, no.
Anyone else wish there was a video, because this would be viral in 8 seconds.
Oh, I'm sure there is video if you want to look it up. Oh, don't.
Aren't we done now?
No.
That was only 2?
Yes.
Holy crap. Massachusetts, more animal stories, sort of.
Okay.
Kind of. What are bees? They're birds, right? Or something. What was that one story?
Bees are humans. We know this.
That's it. A Massachusetts woman who released a swarm of bees on sheriff's deputies as they tried to serve an eviction notice is now facing multiple assault and battery charges, authorities say.
One for each bee, I would imagine.
Anyone want to raise your hand and go, why? 55-year-old Rory S. Woods pled not guilty at her arraignment in Springfield District Court and was released without bail. According to Mass Live, citing court records. I'm trying to figure that one out. No, it is Massachusetts. She and other protesters maintained that they were trying to prevent a wrongful eviction, darn it. The homeowner, Alton King, brought evidence of a bankruptcy stay to court the next day, at which point everything should have stopped, said Grace Ross of the Massachusetts Alliance Against Predatory Lending. It is Massachusetts. Hampden County deputies were met by said protesters when they went to the home in Longmeadow on the morning of October 12th. Woods, who lives in Hadley, right? So this is not her home. arrived in an SUV towing a trailer carrying beehives, started shaking them, breaking the cover off one and causing hundreds of bees to swarm out and initially sting a deputy. Woods, who put on her beekeeper suit to protect herself, that wouldn't be a dead giveaway, was eventually handcuffed, but not before several more Sheriff's Department employees were stung, including 3 who are actually allergic to bee stings.
Oh, my.
When Woods was told the several officers were allergic, she gave the standard answer to idiots of today's ilk.
Which is?
Oh, you're allergic? Good. You know, it's like people who say that conservatives are so evil and want death, and then they wish death on other people. It's one of those weird things.
Oh, yeah. Well, we get so self-righteous, we end up becoming that which we behold.
Or loathe. Where was I?
The same thing.
Hampden County Sheriff Nick Cochee said Woods could have faced more serious charges if anything worse had happened. He said, we had one staff member who had to get to the hospital. Luckily, though, he came out all right. Wow. We have become a vile, stupid species, man.
Well, let's go for some more normalcy. Flathead Beacon Police Blotter.
From us? Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
A moment of reality.
7:59 a.m. A man was utilizing a park pond as a toilet.
How do you flush a pond?
How do you leave the seat down? How do you put the seat?
How do you know if the seat is down?
12
or
feet.
up?
Yeah, right.
And how do women get so pissed? What do they fall in? No, they can't unless they're very itty bitty tiny scrawny little women. I mean, Tinkerbell, I could see. All right, Tinkerbell hits that without the seat down, and she's plunked and probably flushed into next week.
But I can tell you from personal experience that
we've gotten off, haven't we?
If the seat's up, the porcelain is colder than the seat by a significant amount.
That is true.
So,
not that I know this from personal experience, what I've heard from others.
12:18 p.m. While dealing with another theft, law enforcement caught 2 teenagers stealing Hot Wheels and Lego sets. I'm hoping they weren't 19. 2:14 p.m.
I'm trying to figure out what they were making.
2:14 p.m. A car with a Trust in God bumper sticker kept running red lights and stop signs.
Well,
that might be called tempting God.
That's what it's kind of like bungee jumping to me.
It's kind of like, it's time to bring you home.
Let me jump out of a good plane with a parachute. No, these are things I'm not going to do unless it's absolutely necessary.
Let's get into a boat that sinks on purpose. I don't do either of those things.
Tempting God. There's a good idea. Putting me in a pressurized tube underwater. What can go wrong with that? Said Hulk.
2:49 p.m. Someone reported their U-Haul went missing in South Dakota, and then it turned up empty in Kalispell. Wow.
There are so many directions to go there.
4:36 p.m.
And none of them lead me to 911.
Some people were driving over curbs in a parking lot trying to lasso deer. That might be worth the call.
They are truly hard to round up, I'm just saying. It's like herding cats. It's just...
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.